Have you ever felt like there was something wrong with your body, but it was too small to care? A slightly bloated stomach, a mild morning constipation, or a persistent feeling of fatigue that you blame on age? But what if those seemingly harmless signs were the silent call of a dangerous disease, colon cancer? Today we will embark on a journey of discovery deep inside the body, where tiny cells are fighting every day. But this is not just knowledge, this is a warning, the voice of millions of people who have ignored early symptoms only to regret it when it was too late. You don't need to be a doctor, you just need to be someone who listens to your own body. And right now, let's start. Find out. Part 1. Why is colon cancer becoming a scary undercurrent? If there is one cancer that is quietly increasing every year, taking the lives of older people, but increasingly threatening the younger generation, it is colon cancer. Colon cancer, once considered a disease of older people, is no longer limited to any age. The latest statistics in the US show that the rate of new cases in young people under 50 is increasing at a frightening rate. So what is happening? Imagine. You are a 58-year-old man, still working in an office. Every day you hastily eat bacon. For breakfast, sit for 8 hours without moving, and in the afternoon you choose a fast food meal and watch TV. You don't see anything unusual, but at that moment, inside your intestines, a small polyp may be quietly forming, growing, causing no pain, no warning, until it is too late. The fight against colon cancer is not only difficult because of the complex nature of the disease, but also because of the confusing medical information system. Advertising, conflicting advice, a series of miracle products on the internet make patients and even experts fall into a mess. A common misconception is only people with a family history are at high risk, but in fact only about 5 to 10% of colon cancer cases are related to genetics. So what about the remaining 90%? It is due to our own lifestyle choices, what to eat, how to exercise, how to sleep, and even prolonged emotions such as stress also contribute. So if the risk is so great, how do we know if we are carrying a dangerous disease without symptoms? What signs will give you the first clue? Let's follow part 2 with me. Part 2, the early symptoms. The mist whispers, your body never lies. It whispers before it screams. Do you know why colon cancer is called the silent killer? Because in most cases, it doesn't cause any obvious symptoms until it's advanced. And that's why millions of people don't realize they're carrying a ticking time bomb. Imagine a 62-year-old woman named Ellen. She walks every morning, eats well, and enjoys gardening. Lately, Ellen has been feeling more tired and slightly bloated. She puts it down to age, then she notices that her stools are a little darker. Again, she thinks, maybe it was that steak yesterday. But then one morning, Ellen felt dizzy. When she stood up, when her blood was tested, her doctor discovered she had iron deficiency anemia. Ellen's story is not unique. It's a warning that many people have experienced, but ignored. Common but easily ignored early symptoms. Changes in bowel habits, constipation, diarrhea, or alternating between the two. Changes in stool shape, pencil-thin or loose, watery. Stools that last for a long time, feeling like you can't finish going to the bathroom, always feeling like you need to go again. Black stools or blood not always visible. Persistent fatigue, dizziness, pale skin, signs of chronic anemia. These signs are easily attributed to old age, stress, diet. But that's why many people. So, how can you detect these symptoms in the earliest stages, or when they are still a warning and not a death sentence? Let's follow me right away in part 3, how to detect colon cancer as early as possible. You can't wait until the pain appears to find the reason, because by the time cancer hurts, it's already too far gone. Early detection is key, and there are two important tools that top doctors recommend. Colonoscopy. The life-saving camera. Think of your colon as a long highway. Along it, there will sometimes be small obstacles, polyps. Initially, they are benign. But if not detected and removed over time, they can turn into cancer. Colonoscopy is the only method that both observes and intervenes. Through a flexible tube with a camera, the doctor can look directly into the colon, detect polyps, remove them immediately, and send them for biopsy. The good news, most polyps found during colonoscopy are not cancerous and can be removed before they become a threat. Into
just 30 minutes, you can prevent 10 years of cancer.
Many people are afraid of this procedure, but in fact colonoscopy is usually performed under light anesthesia, causing no pain. And the important thing is, most importantly, it saves millions of lives every year. When should you get a colonoscopy? For people with no family history, start at age 45-50, repeat every 10 years. If you have a close relative, father, mother, brother, sister, who has had colon cancer, start earlier, from age 40 or 10 years before the age of the relatives. Diagnosis. 2. Fecal occult blood test, FOBT FIT. Colon cancer does not always bleed visibly, but most tumors tend to leak small amounts of blood as they grow. And because blood in the stool can be too small to see with the naked eye, the fecal occult blood test was born. With a simple stool sample at home sent to a lab, you will know if there is microscopic blood in the stool, an early sign that can be related to polyps, inflammation, or tumors. Recommended frequency. Do it every year from age 50 onwards. This is the method suitable for people who are afraid of endoscopy or cannot afford it. Anemia of unknown origin. Indirect warning, iron deficiency anemia in older adults, especially men or postmenopausal. Women is never normal. Colon cancer can cause prolonged bleeding without you knowing it. Every day you lose a small amount of blood, and after a few months you start to feel persistent fatigue, shortness of breath when exercising, pale, ashen skin, dizziness when standing. When you go for a blood test, you will see a decrease in ferritin,
low hemoglobin. And this is when you should suspect a problem in the lower digestive tract. Your body is slowly withdrawing blood, and you don't feel it.
4. Listen to your gut. No one knows your body better than you. Don't let complacency or the old age must be weak lifestyle become an excuse to ignore the signs. If you notice changes in bowel habits, feeling full, difficulty digesting, stools that are a strange color, smell worse than usual, or simply have a hunch that something is wrong, trust that feeling. It's not fear, it's wisdom. So if colon cancer is more advanced, what will your body say? What symptoms should you pay special attention to, because it could be the last warning before it's too late? Part 4. When the body is no longer silent, the obvious signs of advanced colon cancer. If the first warnings were whispers, this is when the body starts screaming, and each symptom at this point could be the final wake-up call. There is a truth that few people want to face. Most cases of colon cancer are only discovered when they have reached the advanced stage. That is when the tumor has grown large, spread, or begun to obstruct bowel movements. And at that point, the symptoms are no longer vague. They are clear, intense, and sometimes painful. I want to tell you about Mr. Raymond, a 64-year-old man living in Florida. For 3 months, he often had a dull pain in his lower abdomen, irregular bowel movements, and gradually lost weight without understanding why. His wife said,
"Maybe it is because you have indigestion." But when he went to the hospital for a checkup, The endoscopy showed a tumor that had blocked most of the intestine.
It was stage 3 colon cancer. We don't tell this story to scare people, but to remind each other. Listen to your body when it speaks, and when your body speaks, it doesn't speak with words. It speaks with silent, sometimes very vague symptoms. Here are the earliest signs that many people with colon cancer have experienced, but unfortunately are often overlooked. Abdominal pain, bloating, flatulence, not due to eating, but due to intestinal obstruction, a tumor growing inside the intestine can block the natural flow of stool. When this happens, air and waste accumulate, causing the following sensations: lower abdominal pain, dull or intermittent, feeling of fullness, bloating even when not eating much, diarrhea, alternating with constipation, as the intestine tries to push stool through the narrowed section. This is especially noticeable if the tumor is on the left side of the intestine, where stool is more solid and more likely to get stuck. Lefita, blood in the stool. When bleeding is no longer hidden in the early stages, the tumor may leak a little blood mixed with the stool. But as the disease progresses, the blood becomes obvious, bright red or dark. The stool may be black like tar, a sign of old blood digested, or blood streaked along the waist. Nobody wants to look closely at the toilet. But sometimes the very thing you want to avoid is what can save you: unexplained weight loss. When your body starts to eat itself, cancer is a terrible energy-draining process. The tumor grows, absorbs nutrients, causes inflammation throughout the body, and makes you lose weight even though you eat normally. If you lose more than 5 kilos in 1-2 months without dieting, always feel tired, thin for no reason, notice that your clothes are looser but not happy, consider this a warning sign. Because this is not healthy weight loss, it is internal exhaustion. Anemia, weakness, feeling of constant battery drain. Colon cancer often causes chronic bleeding, leading to anemia. At this time, you may feel extremely tired despite getting enough sleep, always feel dizzy when standing up, rapid heartbeat palpitations, loss of health. Many people think it is old age or low blood pressure, but in fact, your blood is lacking oxygen because of silent blood loss. Signs in the liver, lungs. When cancer has metastasized, colon cancer often metastasizes to the liver and lungs. At that time, you may feel pain in the right hypochondrium, where the liver is invaded, shortness of breath, chest pain, persistent dry cough when the lungs are affected, jaundice, itchy skin, prolonged bloating. If you have these symptoms along with a history of digestive problems, you need to check as soon as possible. Signs that few people notice: depression, loss of interest, mental breakdown. In older people, the body and spirit are deeply connected. When the body is occupied by cancer, you will see no longer interested in what you used to love, insomnia, confusion, irritability, self-isolation, closed life. This can be a psychological manifestation of decreased cellular energy, systemic inflammation, and cerebral ischemia light. Don't ignore it. Comparing left and right, why does the location of the tumor affect symptoms? Cancer on the left side often causes bowel obstruction earlier, abdominal pain. Obvious changes in stool cancer on the right side is easier to hide because the stool is softer and less likely to cause obstruction, therefore harder to detect. Understanding the location will help you be alert to the right symptoms, not to miss even the smallest signal. So if those symptoms are clear, what should we do to check and intervene? Does colon cancer always mean no hope? And is there any natural way to prevent it early? Part 5. Prevention. When you hold the key to destiny, not everyone has the right to choose what happens to them, but everyone can choose how they live every day, every meal, every step. And sometimes it is those small choices that are the boundary between life and death. Colon cancer is not a disease that happens overnight. It is silently sown, not from genetics, but from daily living habits. Every hasty meal without vegetables, every day sitting too long without moving, every month passing in simmering stress. All of these things, if repeated long enough, can be the cradle that nurtures a small polyp to become cancer. But the good news is, you can change. No need to wait for a miracle. Start with what you have in your hands, your lifestyle. Eat to fight cancer. Start with your plate every day. The big question is, what should I eat to prevent colon cancer? The answer is not a miracle food, but a food ecosystem that protects the gut. Colorful fruits and vegetables. Each color represents a group of antioxidants. Carrots, beta-carotene, kale, chlorophyll, tomatoes, lycopene, all help neutralize free radicals which promote cancer. Fiber, the bowel cleaner, found in oats, lentils, flax seeds, chia seeds, vegetables. Fiber softens stool, shortens the time, stool stays in the intestines, reducing the intestinal mucosa's exposure to toxins. Fatty fish and omega-3. Salmon, sardines, tuna help reduce systemic inflammation, balance the immune system. Fermented foods restore gut microflora. Sauerkraut, kefir, unsweetened yogurt all contain natural probiotics. Turmeric and curcumin, powerful anti-inflammatory agents. Take with black pepper to increase absorption. Many studies show that curcumin reduces the growth of colon cancer cells in test tubes and in animals. You don't need to eat 100% clean, you just need to eat better than yesterday. TL, limit the silent killer. Foods you should stay away from. Not all foods are harmless. Some types you still eat every day, but if consumed a lot and regularly are what feed cancer cells. Processed red meat, sausages, bacon, salami, ham. Who has classified it as a high-level carcinogen? Fried foods, ultra-processed foods, snacks, French fries, fried chicken, packaged cookies contain acrylamide and oxidized vegetable oils. Refined sugar and soft drinks feed inflammation, obesity. Two factors that promote cell mutations, alcohol and tobacco, not only cause liver and lung cancer but also increase the risk colorectal cancer many times more. Take care of your gut like you would a close friend. The large intestine is not only a place for digestion, it is also the home of the immune system, where more than 70% of immune cells reside. It is also the place where communication with the brain, regulating emotions through the gut-brain axis. When the gut is healthy, you will sleep better, be more stable, in mood, reduce inflammation, reduce pain, and digest easily. Protect the intestinal microflora by eating fermented foods, supplementing prebiotics, onions, garlic, bananas, oatmeal. Avoid unnecessary antibiotics. Limit long-term use of anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs. 4. Move, not to lose weight, but to activate the living body. Physical activity does not need to be complicated. For people over 55, walking 30 minutes a day, doing light yoga, gardening and deep breathing are all ways to activate blood circulation, increase intestinal motility, and reduce toxic accumulation. Exercise also helps regulate blood sugar, balance hormones, and even calm your mind. Think of exercise as your body's morning greeting, not a punishment for eating. 5. Sleep, the golden time for cell repair. When you sleep deeply, your body starts the regeneration process, cleaning up damaged cells and restoring the immune system. Get enough sleep, 7-8 hours every night. Turn off your phone, no blue light. 1 hour before bed, meditate lightly, listen to relaxing music, and have a cool, dark room. Avoid eating close to bedtime to give your gut a rest. 6. Emotions, a silent factor that deeply affects your gut. Did you know your gut contains more than 100 million nerve cells, so it's also called your second brain? Chronic stress can disrupt intestinal motility, disrupt beneficial bacteria, increase systemic inflammation, and accelerate cell mutations. Learn to live a more peaceful life through meditation, music, talking to loved ones, writing a gratitude journal. Not only makes you happier, but also helps your gut breathe better. Social connection, a free preventative medicine. Older people who live in isolation are at higher risk of cancer and chronic disease. Meanwhile, those who communicate regularly, have friends, groups, have faith, a reason to get up every morning. You may not be able to control your age or your past, but you can always control what you eat, how you live, and what you believe. So the most important thing to remember after all summary, don't wait until you have symptoms to start caring about life. We spend our whole lives taking care of others, children, work, family. But when we get old, the most important thing is not the money in our account or the position we held in the past, but are you still healthy enough to enjoy every little moment of life? When you hear about colon cancer, you may feel fear. It's a natural reaction, but fear won't save you. Action will. And the truth is, no one is forcing you to do anything big. You don't need to change everything in one day. No need to go on a crash diet. No need to live like a hermit. You just need to listen to your body a little more. Pay attention to the little changes that are happening inside you and schedule regular checkups as a commitment to loving yourself. In this video, we explore why colon cancer is on the rise, even in young people. The first symptoms, often dismissed as signs of aging, early detection methods like colonoscopies and fecal occult blood tests, warning signs of advanced disease, from abdominal pain to weight loss to bleeding, and finally, daily habits that can help you prevent colon cancer itself. Of course, you don't need to be a doctor to protect your health. You just need to be kinder to your body. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, making yourself a cup of hot tea, opening the window and taking a deep breath. Your body is no longer sluggish, your stomach is light, your sleep last night was deeper. You smile at yourself in the mirror and think, I am living, not just existing. That feeling doesn't come from a pill or a miracle. It comes from a choice. And today, you have another chance to choose how you live. If you're over 50, schedule a colonoscopy. If you have a loved one who has had cancer, don't wait. If you have symptoms, get checked out now. If you found this video helpful, share it with your spouse, friends, neighbors. It could save the life of someone you love. Thank you for staying until the end. Not everyone cares enough about their health to listen to this. It means you're ready to take action for a healthier, deeper, more meaningful life. We hope that the years ahead won't be your end, but your most glorious, because you've learned to appreciate every breath, slow down, live healthier, and live with a conscious heart. See you in next video.